We've reached the beginning of a brand new year, but also to the end of a 9-year era of entertainment, which is the much enjoyed 5-season period of Netflix hit series Stranger Things. With a highly suspenseful and nostalgic setting along with likable and memorable characters, this iconic series has become a new household name of cinema. To me, it's an overall inspiring piece of work. The creators of the show, Matt and Ross Duffer, have been pitching this idea for years through multiple high-profile studios in the film industry, but have only been rejected by every single one of them. Obviously, they lucked out with Netflix because, well, they'll take just about anybody in terms of any projects on the streaming platform just to maintain their existence. But it's a good thing they did, because if they didn't, we wouldn't have this remarkable series to begin with. So let's count our blessings there, right? With such a great show, I mean, why would you say no to this? And on a side note, if you don't want that poor Will Byers to go missing again, hit that subscribe button and we'll keep him safe, I promise. Anyway, after binge watching the entirety of the final season, leading up to its final episode, which is also the final episode of the entire series, I took the opportunity to watch the episode in theaters. The reason being is because I loved this series so much, and that I just couldn't pass up the one and only chance to see it in theaters. And I don't regret it for a single second. I had an absolute blast watching this episode. And it seemed like the audience around me shared that exact same hyped up energy. But social media had a different story. Apparently, a large number of people were incredibly unsatisfied with how the series concluded. I'll go more into detail with that later in the video. But basically, people hated this series finale so much that no one wanted to believe how things ended. So much so that a rumor started spreading that there would be an additional episode of this season to potentially retcon the original ending. The ending being that Vecna, the main villain of the story, manipulated the minds of our main characters to make them think that they defeated him, only to find out that it was all a dirty trick against our heroes. Basically, like the mind manipulation thing that he does to a lot of characters who are weak and vulnerable to his powers or whatever. Therefore, this would lead to the characters into a sense of false hope. This would apparently give fans an ending that would actually satisfy them more than what was given to them. And that episode was supposed to be released 2 days ago from me recording this. So clearly it was just a rumor. And if that wasn't proof enough, the Duffer brothers themselves stepped in and said there is no additional episode, and everything that you've seen from the very first episode from where they started 9 years ago to where they are now, to where things have ended, was all planned 9% exactly as to how they wanted it to end, which only pissed off the fans even more. So as far as I'm gathering, obviously people didn't really like this series finale very much because they weren't entirely satisfied with the ending. My opinion on this whole thing, season 5 isn't exactly the greatest season in the entire series. I honestly think it's the least good out of all 5 of them. But I don't think that makes it bad. For what it's worth, there are some mistakes here or there. For example, the conclusion of our characters beating Vecna may have came a bit too premature, and I think the reason why they did that is because they're trying to make room for the ending for our main characters to see where they end up or where their mind is headed at in terms of like where their journey is going to lead them later on in life. And I felt like that was necessary. Like, it was already wrapping things up anyway. They already figure out what Vecna is capable of. They already know how to beat him. Of course, they're gonna go through some bumps in the road. Like, I don't think it warrants anything to slow down because, well, there's so many things that are happening. I think the more infamous scene, though, that a lot of people complain about is the scene where Will Byers comes out of being gay or whatever, saying I don't like girls. A lot of people say that's a bad scene and like accuses of being quote unquote woke, which is probably the worst way to describe it because no one in the entire world has ever defined that word correctly ever once in their entire life, because they always associate it with being gay or being trans or whatever is being woke, and that's not even what that word relates to. Woke means to be aware of your surroundings. That's all it really means. It doesn't relate to being gay or straight. Nobody gives a fuck about that. I don't know why people keep bringing that up. It's so fucking stupid. Anyway, the reason why I like this scene is because it's the final moment in their entire in everyone's character arc finally coming together and actually have this emotional impact of one character who was basically tortured mentally, physically from the main villain since the very beginning of the series, from going missing to being traumatized from the horrors of the Upside Down to being physically possessed by it. And now he's going to face it with the friends that have been supporting and looking after him his entire character arc. And finally letting go and accepting his own trauma and his own insecurities, allowing him to be freer than he ever was before, gave him the strength and courage to finally step up to his hardships. So I don't think it's entirely unnecessary. Is it too long of a scene? Absolutely. That scene goes on for like 6 minutes, and they were just about to leave to take down Vecna and save the kids from being possessed by Vecna. And so I felt like the scene didn't have to last as long, but at the same time, I felt it was also necessary. That's all I have to really say about that. I don't think it's as terrible or as ridiculous as everyone says it is. And then there's the ending. Of course, them taking down the villain may have been a bit premature may have came a bit early. I think where everything was set in stone needed to happen, just based on how things were set up leading to this moment, which is probably why it was rated so low in IMDb, because people just didn't really feel satisfied with it. I guess people were just more into with the build up, which is a great build up. Everything building up to this moment was pretty great. I guess them leading to the climax just kind of spiraled downhill a little too quickly, and ultimately which left people unsatisfied and them wanting more. So I guess when it comes down to it, people aren't upset about how things ended. I think they're more upset with that things have ended. Like when you binge watch your favorite series only to find out that it's coming to an end, and now you're just kind of upset where you're just like, oh man, the series is over? Now what am I supposed to do now? Go back and watch another series? I mean, nobody had a problem with that with The Office when their series ended, and they rewatch that shit all the time. All the time. So why the hell? So what's to say they can't do it with this series? It's not like it's going anywhere. They can always go back to the first episode and just rewatch it. Nothing's hurting them from doing that. And quite honestly, I don't know what the hell is worth being upset about it. It's over. It's done. The Duffer brothers did exactly what they set out to do. I'm not saying everybody has to respect it, because it's their opinion and it's their show. Like, in the end, like, we can't really do much about it at this point. Like, it's done. It's over. And quite frankly, I'm okay with how things ended. I don't mind a single bit of what I saw. I enjoyed every single bit of it. And I'm not upset at anyone for getting upset about an unsatisfying ending of what they thought was an unsatisfying ending. I just don't think it's worth spreading a damn rumor over an additional episode just because you didn't like how things ended. Like, that's all I'm saying. I thought things were fine. It ended where it needed to do, and nothing more can be done or should have been done than what was already been given to us in the context of this show. With that being said, I hope you can at least take this opinion with a grain of salt, and maybe if you have opinions of your own that you want to discuss with me in the comment section, I really do appreciate the discussion. I will love nothing more than to hear your guys' opinion about all this.